Hey everyone, another version of Better Call Art today, and today we're with my good friend Deon Boshoff, and Deon is the franchise owner of Nashua in Cape Town, South Africa. And Deon, thanks for being on a call today with me.
Thanks, Art. Yeah, it's always nice to have a chat to you. You know, I think our roads crossed about 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, via P4P Hotel. And yeah, I can still remember 20 years ago what the resources we had and what we used to convince clients to make use of our products and stuff like that, and all the comparisons. And I can't even remember some of the reports anymore, but yeah, thank you for friendship, for 20-year friendship. And like you, I've also have grandchildren. So yeah, we are getting older.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. At, probably 20 years ago, we didn't have as much gray hair, right?
Yeah. Well, my hair can't get grayer than it is right now.
Right. So, whereabouts is Cape Town in South Africa?
It's the southern tip, basically, of Africa. So it's if you take Cape Agulhas, it's the most southern tip of Africa, and Cape Town is then a little bit more north west, if you can call it. I'm basically living close to Table Mountain. That's everybody in the world knows Table Mountain in Cape Town, and my office is about 40 kilos from Cape Town, more in a easterly direction. So yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm looking after the Paarl and west coast of South Africa is my franchise area.
Right. And isn't that mountain, isn't that an ancient volcano?
No, it's not an active volcano. No,
right.
I'm too close to that mountain. I'm living too close to that mountain. That can't be an active volcano. Then I must move.
Okay, I'm probably got it confused with something else. So, what with being a franchise owner of Nashua, what products are you currently offering to your clients?
Well, we are basically resellers of basically any product and service out there. Of course, for copiers, that's still our bread and butter. But over the years, we actually added surveillance services, products and services like CCTV, access control. Then you can, lately we added solar or alternative energy, which is solar and backup systems and inverters and of course backup batteries. But what we basically offer the whole range of office automation products and services. I call it from the electric plug in your office right to on top of your roof, because that's basically what we do. And of course, not only selling but also servicing. Right.
So you mentioned solar. Is there a need for solar?
Well, I will tell you this again, but solar right now, as we speak, we've got a very severe energy crisis in South Africa. We don't have enough electricity to supply the whole country 24/7.
Right.
Our outages on a daily basis. We also moved into supplying alternative energy, which is then solar and inverters and batteries. Of course, in South Africa, you've got a lot of sun, and especially this time of the year in the Western Cape where I am, The heat goes up to 40 Celsius degrees. So yeah, that's for us, it's a logic addition to what we sell and service.
Right.
Because we try to be a one-stop shop for all our existing clients, and then of course also for prospects.
Right. Right. So Nashua, is that the Rico branded copiers, MFPs?
I thought you would ask me that question. 20 years ago, when our relationship started and when I basically joined Nashua, because I was not in the copier industry before
Right.
about 20 years ago. We were solely a Rico reseller, but as the years went on, and not too long ago, we added HP, and then we had this multi-brand to a certain extent, and then of course we all know about COVID. When
Yes.
COVID started in 2020, and then all of a sudden, like you guys and everybody all around the world, we can't get stock because of the chipsets they use for some of these machines. And lately, we had to add more brands to our offering. So we added Epson,
Right.
and Lexmark.
Right.
So if you look at the Epson and the Lexmark product range, and you compare, especially on the A4 side, there's almost no comparison. Although I will admit that the IM350 is most probably one of the best machines out there in my 20 years reselling Rico products.
Right.
But unfortunately, to survive, we had to add more brands.
Understood. And we, at least here in the US, we still have a severe shortage of getting any A4 devices. I guess, for, if you're a dealer for Kyocera, Konica Minolta, Ricoh, Canon, from what I've heard, most of us have switched over to offering pre-owned A3s, used A3s, or just trying to fill the gap with all A3s, because A4s are still pretty much impossible unless you're, you've got a dealership with Lexmark or Brother or Epson, because traditionally they've always been in that A4 market, and all of their chips went into those A4 models. They really never had a large A3 offering. It's been a little bit of still an issue here in the US. A3 machines are coming across much better than they were 4 or 5 months ago, but we still have what I would call still a severe A4 issue here at least in the US.
Yeah, that's why we added the Epson and the Lexmark brand. You know what? While testing these machines and putting them in the field, and selling them and servicing them, of course, if you look at the Epsons, for instance, it's an inkjet
Right.
machine. So it's a cold process. It's not a laser where something has to be heated or whatever. So it's especially now with the electricity crisis, it's also better for us to use the inkjets because there's no laser. And if you put it on a backup system, at least you can print and it will last longer depending on what size backup system you use.
Right. So I guess that's a better talking track with your clients, right? That you're offering a machine that's not going to use a heat process, and it's not going to draw a tremendous amount of electricity like the laser devices.
Well, that's one of the selling points.
Right.
Because you can put it on a smaller backup system, not a UPS. We are talking about a little bit bigger backup systems, but it lasts longer than a laser. A laser just pulls a backup system down.
Interesting. So how do you see your I guess what's your prognostications for the next year with your business?
Well, because we are basically now a multi-brand, and I suppose we will look on a daily basis for other brands and other products and services to add to our service offering, or product and service offering, because like I said earlier, we basically sell all products and services which is officer related, and we are also going into the home market now to a certain extent, because we've got a system here in South Africa called MobiCredit, which gives the homeowner some leverage to get credit, and then we can sell this product to households as well, and not only businesses. And it's also applicable to fiber. We basically have two companies. We've got one company which is fixed line fiber lines, and we've got another company which is basically a line of sight or a wireless internet service.
Okay.
So we try to sell more of a wireless stuff because of people stealing the cables and stuff like that. So it's not that easy to steal a wireless link.
Right. Is there any one product that's really jumped out that you're really excited about recently or moving forward?
Well, like I said, the Epsons and the Lexmarks, especially on the A4 side, they added a lot of value to the business. Then, of course, I'm always into technology because of my background and stuff like that. And adding solar and inverters and backup batteries to our portfolio made a lot of sense, because like I said earlier, we try to be a one-stop shop, and because we do finance, we try to support all products and services so that the client can finance it through us, and then we've got it on a 60-month rental contract.
Right. So with the solar, are you guys doing the install also, or do you farm out the install?
Right now, we've got a guy who's installing for us.
Okay.
But it's a new field for us. So we are busy training our technical people, or cross-training our technical people, especially to have a teams inside instead of outsourcing.
And I would guess with the turmoil with the electrical grid in South Africa, a lot of your clients are very interested in being self-sufficient.
Well, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Right now, we are basically starting the grape harvesting season, and the grapes must go to the cellars, and it must go through the whole process. So if you don't have electricity, what's going to happen to your grapes? What's going to happen to your harvest? Right. So it's a catch-22. I can tell you, it's really a catch-22. We are really not in a good space.
Right. So is that your farm in the background?
No, it's not my farm. It's I wish it was my farm, but my son-in-law is not too far behind that little hill. He's a winemaker on one of those farms at the back there.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. So I appreciate the call, and I've always for as long as I've known you, I've always been how can I say interested in what I mean, for somebody in the United States, for me, South Africa is so far away. Just it seems like so much of a different world. I was always curious, what it's like to live in South Africa and sell in South Africa. And you shedded a lot. You've showed me a lot of insight on that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, man. I traveled the world, and I can honestly say that South Africa is most probably one of the better places in the world, except for Table Mountain and the Kruger National Park and stuff like that. There's really beautiful places in this country, and we must just keep it up. That's all we need to do.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd like you. I'm going to end the show. I'd like you to stay on the line for a couple of minutes, so we can stay offline. And so everyone, I want to thank everyone for being on the show today, and especially I want to thank Deon for his time meeting with us today. And please stay tuned for our next event. And as I've always said, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And thank you very much, Deon.
Thank you, Art. It's always a pleasure to be in a chat with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.